start here, guys, we're going into our 90-90 position. A couple pointers are 90 degrees at the front knee joint, 90 degrees at the hips, and then 90 degrees at the back, at that back knee joint, okay? So starting with our external rotation, pails and rails. A couple pointers here. My right hand in this case, my supporting hand is going to stay perfectly straight at the arm or at the elbow so that that pushes our sternum over our femur here. We don't want to be leaning too far outside of our knee. So right arm straight, left arm is going to reach along that femur line. We're going to reach straight forward into that passive stretch, okay? So we're going to go 1 minute here, guys. Starting now, I'm going to walk you guys through this. External rotation, keep that supporting arm perfectly straight as we straighten out, reach out our left arm in this case along our femur line, deep into that passive stretch here, guys. So passive stretch, just relax, big deep breaths. We're going to be going for a full minute here. Stretching out, sinking deep into that hip. If you don't feel it back in the deep part of the hip joint, if you feel it kind of along the adductor or along the quad, go back and give it a foam roll, and then we'll come back to this stretch, okay? So we've got about another 20 seconds or so here, guys, in this passive stretch. Reaching down along that femur line, keeping your supporting arm perfectly straight to get that, to keep that stretch deep in the hip joint there. In 5 seconds here, we're gonna go through our PAILs contraction, progressive angular isometric loading. We're building tension in that joint. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my left arm is gonna stay above my knee here. My right arm is gonna go below my foot. I'm gonna get my sternum in the center of my calf. And in a second here, we're gonna start our 10 seconds progressive. So in this case, I'm going to be pushing my foot down into the ground, taking my hands off of the floor, pushing that foot down. We're building tension in the joint. You should feel that deep in the joint. Go for another 5 seconds here, guys. 5, 4, 3, leaning forward. Any cramping, breathe through. Done. Okay, guys. Last part of this one, or next part, we're gonna go into our rails, our regressive angular isometric loading. From here, we wanna make sure that we're twisting that femur in the joint. We wanna think about rotating in the femur. Knee stays on the ground, but the foot and the heel, or the whole foot is gonna come off the ground here. So we can lean back onto our supporting hand just a little bit here. Other hand can come on the floor. We're gonna rotate in that femur. We're gonna keep the knee flat, but starting now, lifting up that foot off the ground. We've got 10 seconds here. Keep holding, get that foot off the ground. A little bit of space underneath that ankle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. Now we're gonna post up that supporting hand again, keep that arm straight, back into our passive for 1 more minute, starting now. Reaching along that femur line, getting deep into that hip joint as we relax into our passive 1 minute external rotation stretch here. Deep into that stretch here, guys. Completely relax here as we reach out along that femur line, making sure that our supporting arm is perfectly straight. We're keeping our sternum right over our knee as we reach out. Big deep breaths. Any cramping that you would have gotten in the other shorter contractions, we just want to relax through that right now. It's very important that we don't pull out. If we ever get any cramps, we don't pull out of that position. We maintain our posture. The cramps come from when your body doesn't know what to do in that tight end range. It gives kind of all systems go and it overloads that muscle, and then we get the cramps. We need to train that in that tight, short end range. Okay, so in 5 seconds here, we're gonna come out of this stretch, then we're gonna go into our internal. All right, that's it there, we're done.